Okay, boys and girls, so today is October 1st, 2020. Today we went ahead and finished up with our, we only wrote two for the word webs, and I actually forgot to put this in the homework for today, so hopefully some of you all do remember. Desire and shallow are for homework, okay? But we can go ahead and do them tomorrow before we work on the little quiz for our story, because we haven't even finished it, so we need to finish that as well. Again, because it was such a short week, we weren't able to do a lot of what we would do in a typical 5-day week, and then it was still out. So I will be cutting everyone's slack this week because obviously it wouldn't be fair to do all the tests and everything, and we haven't even covered much. So again, if you can, do homework for desire and shallow. If not, that is fine. We can do it tomorrow. Something else that we added today was the figurative language notes. Again, we've gone over this in class with previous pieces of literature: simile, metaphor, personification, onomatopoeia, alliteration, and idiom. So idiom we haven't really gone over much, but we were having fun this morning with, giving examples of idioms, like cat got your tongue, it's raining cats and dogs, I'm feeling blue. And I'm going to go ahead and move it up. So, what were some of the other ones that we mentioned today? You're in the doghouse, spilled the beans, all of those do not have literal meanings. So, it's kind of just maybe our American culture. I know in the Mexican culture people have their idioms as well. So it's just different. It varies from culture to culture, I believe, for idioms. And again, we have gone over simile, metaphor, personification, onomatopoeia, and alliteration. Those are pretty simple, especially simile and onomatopoeia. Those are the simple ones that the students can quickly identify. Okay, so have you finished writing that? Let me go ahead and turn to our writing portion. So we just did some practice on, yesterday we did the different types of incomplete sentences. So it's run-on and fragment. And today we were just identifying if these were sentences, fragments, or run-ons, okay? So this one, we noticed that it has both a subject and predicate, so it's a complete sentence. And the next one, we were missing a predicate. It only had the subject. The next one, it was a run-on because we could separate into two sentences. The next one, again, it's a complete sentence. We have a subject and a predicate. Number 5, they encouraged him, they helped him. It's a run-on. We could break it up into two sentences. Number 6, one of his teachers. Well, what about one of his teachers? We only have the subject. We're missing the predicate, so we have a fragment. Tried out different art supplies. That is a fragment. We are missing the subject. And the artist has a great imagination. That is a complete sentence. We have a subject and a predicate. Okay. So, like I said, where is my 4.1? Okay. So in our My View 4.1, if we go to our story this week, we got to read up to, I believe, 315? No, 317. Yes. Richard was the last one to read this. So tomorrow we just have these last 2 pages to read, and we'll finish up with our vocab. and we'll take our test. So if you haven't read it, I encourage you to read it. It's page 309 from Minn of the Mississippi on My View 4.1. Okay? So that was it for reading ELA. Let me go into math. For math, I did some examples of the top and bottom chart, and we kind of went through the step-by-step process of using that strategy for division. Again, there was too little time to spend this week on division, so tomorrow we will do the test together. It won't be a test, it will be more of a participation grade. So again, we have our number, which is our dividend, the one that's in the house, what we call it in the house, and then our divisor, which is 5, so it's outside of the house. Okay, and the first thing we do when we're dividing is we set up our top and bottom chart. Okay, so we're going to list 0 through 9. We always do that. It's the same thing every time. 0 through 9. For the bottom, they're multiples of the divisor. Our divisor is 5, so we're going to multiply each of these numbers by 5 to get the multiples of 5. And we went ahead and did that over here. Next step is to look at the first digit in our dividend, which is 3. And where would we typically find the 3 in the bottoms? That's the first question. Where would we typically find that digit that's first here in the dividend under the bottom in the T chart? B is for bottom. So we would find it in between 0 and 5. So that's where we're going to draw our water. This is going to be the float or sink strategy. Our water. And we want the boat to float, so we're going to draw our boat on top. We're going to go ahead and encircle our numbers that are on top of the water. So now we have the numbers that we're going to use. The 0 in the tens and the 0 for the top and the 0 for the bottom. So that's what we placed here and here. The 0 for the top and the 0 for the bottom. The next step is to subtract. 3 minus 0 is 3. And then we bring down the 5, okay? So now we're going to look at 35 as a total. 35. Well, let's look at again. Where is it found under the bottom? Right here. Okay, so we're going to put our C under there, or our water. We want the boat to float, so we're going to circle those. 7 and 35. 7 is going to go on the top. 35 is going to go on the bottom. If we subtract 35 minus 35, that's 0. We do not have a remainder. Our quotient, our answer is 7. So that's basically how you would do those. We did go ahead and do these examples as well. It's the same thing. We did A, B, C, D. Some of them had, C, we did it over here on the notebook. But it's basically the same examples, same type. The first two did not have a remainder. I'll leave that for a little bit. Okay, so the first two did not have a remainder. If we move on to B and C, B did not have a remainder either, and it's the same process for all of them. D did have a remainder, so that was the only different one. I did ask everyone in class today to do H for homework. So if you could do that for homework, if you want to challenge yourself and do F and G, you can do that as well. Okay, but we'll go over this tomorrow. Like I said, we're going to be going over it in our weekly test. So that was for math. We went ahead and touched a little bit on the science lesson for this week. That is in our science fusion. So that is page So we're already in Unit 2, the engineering process. Page 69. What is an engineering design process? So we did read from 70 through 73. I told them that if they wanted to, they could do page 79 for homework. Just make sure you read everything over here. The last 2 pages that we didn't do. We can go ahead and try to do that tomorrow in class just to check if you all got the right answers. Again, this is page 79 on the science fusion. And we watched a little video. We watched a little video for the My World. Again, I'm thinking we're only going to test on one of the regions that one of the 2 that we were supposed to go over this week. Because we were supposed to go over the North Central Plains and the Coastal Plains, but we didn't get to do the Coastal Plains. So again, we did watch a video and we continued reading page 86 and page 87 in the My World book. Okay, so if you have not done that, go ahead and read it. And the video is posted on my Google Classroom for Social Studies, so you can go ahead and watch that as well. Other than that, I believe that was it for today. And we'll see you all tomorrow. Have a great night. Make sure to study those spelling words. Do the practice test, and I will see you all tomorrow.